My client, Mr. Bateman, is 32 years of age. He is an investment banker for Pierce & Pierce as a specialist in mergers and acquisitions. Mr. Bateman is a Harvard graduate who is presenting with OCD, narcissism, antisocial personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, and potentially schizoid personality disorder or schizophrenia. Mr. Bateman has feelings of depersonalization, although I can hide my cold gaze, and you can shake my hand and feel my flesh gripping yours, and maybe you can even sense our lifestyles are probably comparable. I simply am not there. That is a direct quote from Mr. Bateman. He has no real support group. His mother is in a sanatorium, and his father is deceased. He does have a girlfriend, though she is not close with him. She is mostly for appearances. Though the client seeks approval from those around him, he does not seek out close relationships of any kind. Mr. Bateman's lifestyle is one of casual sexual encounters. They are known to be aggressive sexual encounters at times, and he is highly concerned with his physical and social appearances. His outward behavior is composed and conservative at all times in public, yet it is highly contrasting with his private life, which is more aggressive. The client finds himself removed and detached from those around him, and he finds himself detached from his own personal self. He seeks a sense of connection and resorts to drastic measures to feel anything he deems as real. He is convinced that he has committed murders and rapes, often admitting this to people in his social life only to be considered as humorous. It is not clear if the client is suffering from delusions or if he has in fact committed these acts. However, it is evident that he feels out of control and is seeking help by admitting his wrongdoings. He is aware that he should not act or feel in the way he does, so self-awareness will help us to move forward with possible psychotherapy. The challenges that we will have to overcome if we want to be able to be successful with therapy will be encouraging his attendance and trust while attempting to overcome some of the intertwined yet lesser tendencies. For example, the client is obsessed with his personal appearance. Both OCD and narcissism are at play. He commits himself to a daily routine that is precise and methodical. He uses this routine to distance himself from those around him by setting himself to a standard that no one else will ever strive to meet. This is all a part of his larger and more encompassing problems of schizoid personality disorder and borderline personality disorder. Considering that this client is potentially, though not definitively, showing schizophrenic tendencies, such as delusions and hallucinations, I will move forward with psychotherapy directed towards schizoid personality disorder and borderline personality disorder, instead of prescribing antipsychotics for schizophrenia. We cannot be certain that the acts he has described have actually taken place. As such, he may or may not have been having said hallucinations. In further therapy sessions, if it seems that his acts of violence are in fact real versus manufactured, we will have to seek outside resources such as a mental health facility, since such a person would need to be under 24-hour supervision out of fear of him harming others. Due to studies showing that long-term psychotherapy is not as effective as short-term programs when dealing with specifically with schizoid personality disorder, I will focus on short-term individual intensive therapy. Long-term therapy has not been proven successful for people with schizoid personality disorder, for they have difficulty committing to relationships with others. Due to trust being an important component in therapy, treatment is not always successful. since to people with schizoid personality disorder having great difficulty in this area. If the client seems to be responsive to therapy and continues treatment, group therapy may be feasible, for it has been shown to be positive even if the client is only participating through observation. Long-term therapy is suggested when looking specifically at someone with borderline personality disorder, but since Mr. Bateman is presenting with a combination of symptoms, I plan to stay on the more conservative and direct approach in hopes of seeing progress. Medicinal treatments are not shown to be effective in people with schizoid personality disorder, though treating acute symptoms of coinciding disorders with medication may prove to be beneficial in treating larger dysfunctions. As such, I plan to send this client home with homework to help with OCD. We will be working with the saturation and thought-stopping techniques. It is my hope that touching on the OCD portion of his problems will help make therapy for borderline and schizoid personality disorders more manageable. Though medications are not my first resource, they may prove to be necessary further into treatment, depending on Mr. Bateman's response to psychotherapy. Thank you for your time.